Hello CraftDee family, and welcome to another tutorial by She's So Crafty. For today's DIY projects, I'll be sharing 10 of my favorite ways to create pillows and pillow covers from any fabric item from the Dollar Tree. Now, most of these items require no sewing, but I will share an easy to follow sewing option if you want to learn. Now, to all of my amazing subscribers and visitors, I wanted to say hey, and if you haven't subscribed yet, you definitely should, so you could be the first to see hundreds of fresh and original craft ideas on my channel. So let's dive in and get started. Now I will be using this Dollar Tree placemat to make this pillow. Now I like my pillows to be square rather than oblong, so I'm going to fold one corner over as shown here to make a square. And then I'm going to cut off the excess, leaving about a 1 inch extra to finish it all off. And then I'm going to fold in that cut edge to the inside. And then I'm just going to kind of hold it in place with some of those clips from the Crafter Square at Dollar Tree. And then once everything is clipped into place, I'm just going to press down on those folds and kind of crease the fabric to make a seam. Now, I usually would sew this, but since this is a quick and easy tutorial and I don't plan to launder these, I will be using hot glue to do this. So I want to place some hot glue inside that fold, and I want to just secure it down into place so it doesn't pop up. Now, once all those seams are in place, we can prepare to stuff the pillow. Now, first I want to seal that opening about halfway, and then I'm going to clip it in place. So I'm just going to run a bead of glue halfway down and then put some clips into place to hold it. And then I can start stuffing the pillow. Now you want to place that stuffing and that filler into the corners first, and then fill the remainder of the pillow. And this will eliminate a lot of those gaps in the corners that you may tend to get when stuffing pillows. And once it's all filled, you can go ahead and seal that opening with your hot glue and then clip it into place. And then when it fully dries, just remove all of your clips and fluff it the way you like it, and repeat this process with the coordinating placemat that you have. And now that the other pillow is done, you can place them together. And here are the finished pillows ready for your space. Now I really do love that lemon pattern in these, and it coordinates really well with the blue pattern. I think these cute little square pillows turned out adorable. One of these buffalo check dish drying mats from the Dollar Tree. We'll need a black dish towel from the Dollar Tree. We'll need one placemat from the Dollar Tree, and we'll also need some fabric, and this piece is from Walmart. Now we'll be working with the towel and the drying mat first, so remove everything from the packaging. Now you want to take that dish towel and then lay the drying mat right on top. Now you want to make sure the side edges and the top edge is nice and aligned. And then just go ahead and clip it or pin it into place. Now this extra on the side will be used for an envelope closure, so all we'll need to do is trim off that bottom edge. Now once that's all trimmed, we can go ahead and sit our drying mat to the side, and I'm just going to cut and remove any tags from the dish towel. Now the outside edges of the towel are nice and finished, so we won't need a hem, which is great. So I'm just going to fold it in half evenly, and I want to cut the center piece down the center. Now SureBonder sent me this mini size glue gun to try out, and this is perfect for precise and detailed applications. Now I'll be making narrow lines like stitching edges, so this tool will be perfect for this project. Now it is high temperature and heats up super quick. Now they also sent me these fabric stitch sticks, which are hot glue especially formulated for fabric bonding. So I'm curious to try these out for the project today, and I'm going to let you know how it turns out. So now we want to lay out that drying mat face up, and then take one of the towel halves and lay it on the top, making sure that one of the finished seams is facing the center. Now our glue gun is nice and hot, but now we can also use a fabric tack as well if you do not want to use the hot glue. Now sewing is also an option. Now for this project, I will be using the hot glue that is for fabric, and now we're just going to run a line down the side and press the towel into place. And then we just want to repeat this on the other two outside edges. So now I'm going to take that second piece, and making sure that a finished edge is facing the center, I'm going to align it with the outside edge, and I'm going to repeat this glue process the same way, making sure I put it all the way around the outside edges. So now that everything is all adhered, I'm just going to let it cool, and we can start on our placemat pillow. Now these placemats have two layers that you can open and stuff and seal, but we'll be creating a removable cover for this project. So I'm just going to take some coordinating fabric, and you can choose any fabric of your choice, and I'm going to open it up and lay the placemat on top. Now I do want to make sure I leave about 6 inches extra at the end. Now once everything is nice and in place, just go ahead and apply your clips. And then what I want to do is I just want to cut off the excess at the bottom, just like we did with the towels. So now I want to take the fabric piece, and I want to fold it in half and cut it down the center. Now since this fabric does not have a finished edge or hem, we'll be double folding one of the ends and gluing it in place. Now all we want to do is fold it under 1/4 of an inch, and we just want to glue it down. And then once it's folded in and glued, we're just going to fold it one more time 1/4 of an inch and glue it into place again. And here is what it looks like, and we're just going to repeat this for the other piece. So now we're going to place down our placemat with it facing up, and I want to place that fabric print side down on the top, and we want to make sure that that finished folded edge is facing the center. And then I just want to continue to glue this in place just like we did our towels. Now once that first piece is done, we're just going to repeat this for the second side as well. And now that both pillows are glued into place, we can flip them right side out and see how our work turned out. Now everything is looking good. I'm pulling, I'm tugging. The glue seems to be holding up pretty well, and I'm pretty happy with the bond. Now let's check out our second cover. Now this one appears to be nice and sturdy as well. Let's do a couple pulls and tugs and make sure everything is good to go. Yep, everything's holding up. Very impressive. So now I will use these perfect size pillows that I created from a standard pillow, and what I'm going to do is link the directions on how I did this in the upper right hand corner of this video, and I'll also link it in the description box below. And now all I'm going to do is place a pillow into each one of the pillow covers that I have created. Perfect fit. And everything is good to go. And now you can take your pillows and place them in a cozy location in your home to enjoy. Now these were super easy to make, and I love that the covers are removable so we don't have a zillion pillows to store after each holiday season. Now this glue is machine washable and hang to dry, so it's perfect for low maintenance and you can keep your space fresh and clean. I hope you guys give this a try. They're super easy and fun to make. Now for this project, we'll need a couple of placemats of your choice, and I got mine from Dollar General. We'll need some fabric, and I'm going to use some scrap denim, or you can use an old pair of jeans as well. Now the first way you could make this cover is most common, which is to take two placemats and place them on top of each other with the right sides out. And then all you would do was simply sew around the perimeter, and then you would leave an opening at the bottom, or you can use hot glue in between the two layers, and then you would leave an opening at the bottom. And once that's all dry and secure, what you would do is you would actually add stuffing to the middle. Now I'm just doing this for demonstration, but I'm just trying to give you an idea of all of the options. Now another option is to take one of the placemats, and you can use a coordinating fabric on the other side instead of another placemat. Now in this case I have this scrap denim, and all you would do is cut out that placemat shape, and you would just use the placemat as a guide. And then what you would do is that you would place the two pieces right side together. Then all you would do is you would glue them together around the inside, or sew it all the way around, flip it inside, flip the right side out, and then stuff and seal it shut. Now if you don't have any denim fabric, you can use denim from a pair of jeans or other garments. I personally think that having pockets on the back of the pillow would actually be super cute. Now for a removable cover, I will show you step by step how to achieve this. So what you want to do is you want to lay out your piece of fabric, and then you want to place your placemat right on top. Now you want to make a mark about 6 inches longer than your placemat. And then right now I'm just kind of rough cutting the shape a little bigger than my marking, just to remove it from that big piece of fabric that I have. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold that fabric back right at the end of that placemat, even it out with that edge, and then you can pin or clip it right into place. And now that everything is all even and lined up, you can actually cut your piece out to the placemat's shape. So now that you have your cut piece, you want to trim off that excess of that folded rough cut. And remember, it's about 6 inches long. So we're just going to make a line, and then we're going to cut it off where it's 6 inches long and it's nice and even. So now that your piece is cut, just take it, take your placemat away, fold it right in half, and we are going to split that right down the middle, and we're just going to cut it. Now you have two short pieces, and now on one end of each one of the short pieces, you want to fold in about 1/4 of an inch, and you want to press that down. Now once that's done, you want to fold it in one more time and press it in so you have a double fold. Then you want to repeat this on the other piece. So now you're going to need to secure this fold, and you can do this with a fabric hot glue, or you can sew it together. Now I sewed mine together, and here is a close-up of what it looks like. So now that we've secured both of those folds, what we're going to do is place one of those fabric pieces with the good sides facing together and that folded seam headed towards the center. You just want to make sure the edges are all lined up. Now if gluing, you would glue this piece into place, but don't sew yet. And then you're going to take that other piece and you want to place it on the opposite side, face down, and line up those ends as well. And you want to overlap those centers. Now you can glue this second piece in place. Now if you are sewing, go ahead and clip it all the way around so it doesn't shift. Now you can take it to your machine or hand sew it together. And we can sew it all the way around, leaving no openings. And here it is. Here is my version all sewn together. Now I prefer a rounded edge since it would appear more square than pointed on the finished piece. So now here I'm just trimming off all of that excess fabric. And now that it's all trimmed, we can flip the cover right side out. And now we're ready to add our pillow inside. Now here's a quick hack I wanted to share. Now I purchased this standard pillow from Dollar General for $2, and half of this pillow will fit inside of a placemat pillow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide this in half. So I'm going to make a mark dividing the pillow in half all the way around. And then what I'm going to do is cut the fabric cover on that line all the way around the pillow. And once that fabric is cut, you just kind of want to carefully separate the filling right down the middle. So now all I'm going to do is stuff that filler down into that one side of the pillow, and then what you can do is glue or sew that open edge together. Now to hold it in place, you can pin it or you can add clips, and then you can take it to your machine and make sure it's glued or sewn into place. So now we have two pillow inserts that we can reuse for all of your placemat pillows. So now just grab those covers that you created and grab those new inserts. You're just going to gently put it inside of your pillow cover, and it fits right in nice and snug. Now I love this clean finished look of the back, and all you have to do is repeat this for any other pillow covers you may want to have. And I did this for the pumpkins as well. So now you can decorate with your beautiful placemat pillows. I am so obsessed with that little blue truck. Now the quality of these this year is pretty good, and even though these didn't come with a backing, they really made up for it with the beautiful design. And yes, making this as a cover instead of stuffing it makes it so much more convenient. And you know what? It definitely saves space for storing all of those extra pillows in the off season. Now for each pillow, you will need one of these rag rugs from the Dollar Tree. And you'll also need an adult t-shirt from the Dollar Tree. Now the first thing we want to do is mark the good side of the rug, and I'm just going to be placing a couple of pieces of tape on that side. Then go ahead and remove all those tags, and then we're going to trim one of the edges even. We want to be careful not to cut that stitch line. Then to make a square pillow, I'm just going to fold up the corner to the top edge as shown here. And once we have it even, I'm going to take some of this clear tape and I want to apply it to the rug, making sure half of that tape runs underneath that overlapped edge. Now we're just going to press that firmly into place and fold that rug back over, and we're going to end up cutting off that excess rug down the center of that piece of tape. So now the tape will hold those loose strands in place while we work. So now I'm going to take the t-shirt and I'm going to lay it out, making sure the bottom edge of that shirt is nice, smooth, and even. And then I want to lay that rug piece on top, letting about 1/3 of the rug hang off that bottom edge of the shirt. And then I'm going to cut through both layers of the shirt around that rug piece. So what you will end up doing is you'll end up having 2 pieces and each will have a finished hem. So now we're ready to assemble the pillow. So we want to lay out one piece of the shirt with the good side facing the good side of the rug. We're going to line up that raw edge with the raw edge of the pillow. And then we're going to do that to the opposite side, and we want to make sure those hem pieces are always towards the middle. So now we're going to pin this all the way around with straight pins. Now my intention was to have an optional glue method with this cover, but with the way this rug is made, sewing is the very best option, and it's also easy to do. So now that it's all pinned into place, you're just going to sew completely all the way around the edge, leaving about a 1/2 inch seam allowance, and you can do this easily with a basic sewing machine or by hand. Now here is the cover all sewn, and I used a lighter color of thread just so you could see the stitching, but use black or the color of your pillow if you make this. Now you're just going to trim all the loose strings and trim down those corners. So now all we have to do is turn the pillow cover right side out. We're just going to push out those corners and we're going to remove all of our tape. So now we're just going to adjust our pillow cover and make sure everything is in place and it looks good. So now I'm just taking a pillow that I already had on hand and I'm inserting it into the cover. Now you want to make sure those corners fit into place, and once that pillow is inside, just smooth out the back closure. And then you just repeat this for your second pillow, and these are ready to decorate with. So simple and easy to make. And check out how this set turned out. I just can't believe how easy these were to make. When I saw these rag rugs at the Dollar Tree, they really gave me boho vibes, and I knew I just had to incorporate them into this decor theme. Now the quality of these is actually really great, and I'm really surprised on how beautiful they turned out. Now these covers can be removed and washed, which makes them not only beautiful, but also versatile. I really hope that you all are enjoying these crafts so far, but I wanted to pop in really quick and let you all know that you could follow me on all of these platforms as CraftDee. So now let's jump right into that next DIY. This project, we're going to need one of these fringe rugs from the Dollar Tree. Now I'm going to start by laying out the rug, and I want to go ahead and fold it in an envelope style as shown here. Now if you like it long, you don't have to cut, but I'm going to measure how wide I want the pillow, and I end up cutting about 4 inches off the side. Now before I cut it off, I'm going to go ahead and cut off that inner fringe. Now with the fringe length, this cut measures about 5 3/4. So then I'm going to open up the rug, and I want to set my ruler at 4 inches from the edge. And then I'm just going to cut off those 4 inches of fabric. And then next, I just want to trim off that stitched edge on that other side. Now I would usually sew this together, but to keep it simple, I'm going to use this Fabri-Tac adhesive. Now this is permanent and washable. Now of course, if you don't plan to wash this, you certainly can use hot glue as well. So I want to start by folding down that top fringe edge about 2/3 of the way down, and I'm just going to mark the fold real quick with a clip, and then I'm going to apply a bead of glue. And then we want to fold that fringed edge in on top and then press it in place to seal it. And now I want to kind of tuck that fringe in on the sides, and I want to go ahead and apply a bead of glue right above that fringe. Then flip that bottom edge on top of that glue line and press it into place. So for one of these open ends, go ahead and apply a bead of glue to seal there as well. Now be sure to leave the other end open so we'll be able to stuff the pillow when it dries. Now after a few hours of drying, we can flip the pillow right side out. Now I'm going to use the stuffing from this body pillow that I got from Walmart a while back. Now this is a better deal than buying the stuffing alone, or you can just reuse stuffing that you already have on hand. And now once it's stuffed, you could just glue that opening shut. And now that everything is nice and secured, we're going to go ahead and trim that fringe nice and even. Now at the last minute, I decided I wanted to adjust that fringe a bit, so I am going to apply a bead of glue right above that fringe, and then I want to fold it down and adhere it in place. And then once it is dry, you have this super cute pillow for your decor. Now here is the completed project. Now how sweet is this little pillow? I really love the chevron design in this rug, and the tassels give it that special touch that gives it a high-end look. Now you can sit this on your table or toss it in your papasan chair and enjoy it. We're going to need one of these dishcloths from the Dollar Tree and a loose piece of fabric that I had on hand. Now I'm going to lay out my grid mat and then grab my dish towel, and I'm going to remove all of the packaging and all of the tags. Now what I'm going to do is fold it equally in half, making sure all the edges are nice and aligned. Now I want to divide this in half, and you can do this with scissors, or I'm going to use a rotary cutter. Now the Dollar Tree has their own version of this too, so you could give that a try. So now we have two equal halves. So now I'm going to grab that extra piece of fabric that I have, and I'm going to lay that half of the dish towel on top. Now my fabric is double folded, so there is 2 layers. Now I'm just going to cut around that square the same size of my half of a towel. And once that's done, we'll have 2 equal halves of the fabric. Now I'm going to remove one of those layers and set it to the side, and then what I'm going to do is put the 2 good sides of the fabric and the towel together and lay them out evenly on my mat. Now I'm going to fold down one of the edges, and you can adhere these by using Fabri-Tac, which is a fabric type of glue, or for this project I am going to be using my Surebonder fabric sticks to glue these all together, and of course sewing is always the best option. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my Surebonder fabric glue, and I'm going to start applying a bead of it along the edges, about 1/4 of an inch from each edge. Now what I want to do is I just want to add small 2 or 3 inch sections at a time all the way around, and I'm going to do it for the top and the sides, leaving the bottom open. So now for the bottom, we're going to go in about 1/3 of the way on each side, leaving an opening in the middle. So I'm just going to add more of that Surebonder fabric stick on each side. Now each side is done, and now you see you have a nice opening and the glue is now dry. Now we're just going to repeat this for that second half of the towel the same exact way. And so now this one is done as well, and now you have your 2 pillow forms. So I'm going to go ahead and start stuffing my pillow, and the stuffing I like to use is stuffing from a body pillow from Walmart. I just find it cheaper to get it that way than in polyfill. So I'm flipping my cover the right side out, and then I'm taking some of that fill and I'm filling in my pillow forms. Now I like to fill in the corners first and then fill in the middle. It just seems like a more even fill. So once it's filled to your liking, you'll have that opening at the bottom. So we want to kind of crease in the bottom edges so they'll lay flat together, and then apply a bead of your glue of choice along that inner fold, and then pull the seam tightly together. You'll notice it'll bond straight together. You just want to kind of pinch those seams together until that glue bonds, and you could use the assistance of some of those Dollar Tree clips as well, and that holds it into place. Now you want to hold those in for about 2 or 3 minutes, and then that seam is nice and bonded, and you have a nice cute little throw pillow. Now you can just repeat this for your second form until you have 2 complete pillows, and they look adorable. Now how do you like these 2 amazing pillows for your covered outdoor or indoor space? Now these towels were definitely the inspiration for this video, and I love this pineapple theme. Now I think these complete the set for the pineapple summer project, but you guys have to let me know which one of these DIYs was your favorite today. Be sure to let me know in the comments below. Now for this project, I'm going to be using a insertable pillow form, and this one is 16 by 16. You can pick these up at most craft stores if you want to, or you can use a pillow that you have on hand for this project. So what I did is I cut a piece of my decorative fabric, and I made it the size 16 by 16, the same size as your pillow. Now I also did cut 2 extra pieces, and this is for the back of my pillow, and I cut these 16 by 11. Now how I came up with this is that I divided the pillow size in half, which is 8, and added 3. So one side will be 16 and the other side will be 11 for each piece. So I am going to be pressing a seam on these, so I got my pressing pad out, and I'm going to be double folding a 1/2 inch seam on one side, which is the long side of the back cover. Now I am taking my light and I am adjusting it right over my craft area to make it nice and bright. So you just want to go ahead and press that seam. You can use an iron, and in my case I have my Cricut mini press here all heated up and ready to go, and I'm going to fold it over once at a 1/2 inch and then fold it over again at a 1/2 inch to make a nice folded seam on one side of this back piece. And here it is, all nice and pressed. So now you just want to repeat this for your other piece until both pieces are nice and pressed and ready to bond together. Now there's a couple of ways that you can bond these. You can actually sew these, which I am going to do, but if you do not want to sew them, you can use some hot glue, which is actually fabric hot glue in a mini glue gun, and this is a good option if you don't want to sew. And then my preferred method if I don't want to sew is using fabric tack. I love this product. It is strong, permanent, and this adhesive is flexible and washable. So this is my choice when I don't want to sew any of my projects. It's very strong. Now I am going to break out the old Singer for this project because I want my project to be nice and finished, and I'm going to show you step by step how I put this pillow cover together. So for this project, I am going to be using some gray thread just so you can see the stitches, but make sure you use a color thread that matches the color of your project. Now I just turned on my machine and you can see the light came on the sewing base, but you can barely see it. I always struggle with this on this machine. So I have pivoted this lamp over to the back of my machine. You can see my entire area is nice and lit up so I can see what I'm working on in my project. So what I'm going to do is take that fabric piece and I'm going to stitch that double folded seam down close to the edge about 1/8 of an inch. Now I'm just going to adjust my stitch length, and then I'm just going to go ahead and just sew a nice straight seam all the way down. And here's my seam all stitched down and tacked down, and this is what it looks like. So now you just want to grab your other piece of fabric and you want to repeat the process. So here is the other piece, and now both of them are nice and stitched down. You want to make sure, of course, that you back stitch at each of one of the ends, but this is a nice, neat finish to the edge of your back pieces where your opening will be. So now we can start putting things together. So we want to first lay out our decorative fabric with the pretty side facing up. Now I'm going to adjust my lamp so my area is nice and bright to work with and I can see everything that I'm working on. So now you're going to grab those two back pieces and we are going to lay those on top of the pretty fabric. So we're going to put the side with the seam facing you, and then the seam is going to be towards the center. So we're going to line up the raw edge that you didn't stitch with the outside edge of the pillow as shown here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take that other piece and we are going to lay it in the middle as well, and we're going to put that stitch seam in the middle with the raw edge facing the other side. So now your pieces overlap, and this is exactly how you want it to look, so you'll have a little opening in the middle to insert your pillow form when you're done sewing your project together. So now you can go ahead and pin them together or clip. I'm just using some little clips, and I'm going to clip all my pieces together all the way around. If you decide to glue this, this is the point where you will actually glue the layers together as they lay here. But since I am sewing, I'm going to go ahead and just pin them together or clip them together so I can use them in my project. Now I'm adjusting my light here so you can see my work and see what I'm doing, so you guys have a good idea of what I'm working on. So now that it's all pinned, we can start sewing everything together. So again, I adjusted my Cricut 360 lamp right there at my sewing area, and I'm going to start sewing. Now, the thing you want to keep in mind is when you start sewing these envelope style pillows together, you always want to backstitch over the areas that overlap where those seams will be where you open the pillow. This will give it some reinforcement, and you're just going to sew all the way around. No need to leave an opening because the opening is in the middle. So here it is. Everything is now all sewn together. You have that opening in the middle, and if you do, go ahead and take your serger and clean up those edges. But for the sake of time in this video, I'm going to do that a little later. But what I am going to do now is go ahead and clip those corners off just to make sure that when you turn your pillow right side out, that they'll flip out and you'll have some nice pointed corners. So now you can go ahead and flip your pillow right side out, just making sure you poke out those corners first all the way around, and then flip it with the right side out where everything will lay nice and flat. So here it is. It's now flipped out right side out, and everything looks great. I love how this pattern looks on here, and now you have this opening where you can insert your pillow form. So now I'm going to take my pillow form and I am going to insert it into my brand new pillow cover. Now all you have to do is just squeeze the pillow together. We're going to put it in that first side, flip it around, and then squeeze it into the other side. Now after the pillow is inside, we're just going to put our hand in that little opening and just smooth out all of that fabric, and it should fit nice and snug just the way we wanted it. And I love these pillow forms. So easy to whip up and they're so much fun. Now I did adjust my light here so you can get a better view of the pattern and what it looks like. So now what I did is I adjusted my light to record this staged part of the video, and this makes the colors so nice and bright. Now this pillow cover style is one of my favorites, and they're so easy to whip up on the sewing machine or bonding with a fabric safe glue. Now no matter which way that you choose, you will definitely save space by not having to store dozens of pillows when you want to change up your decor. So I'm going to use one of these tassel rugs from the Dollar Tree, one of these soft microfiber cloths from the Dollar Tree, and I'm using a piece of faux leather that I got on clearance from Walmart for $1.50, or you can use like a thrifted purse or a jacket for the piece of leather. So we're going to start off working with that little tassel throw rug from the Dollar Tree. So I'm going to turn it over with the good side facing down, and then I'm going to fold it in like an envelope style shape just to see how big I would like my pillow. So for the bottom, I'm going to fold up, and first of all, I'm going to remove all the tassels because this will be on the inside of the pillow. You want to cut the tassels off above the knot. Please don't cut them below because then your rug will start to unravel. Now the fold up was approximately 6.5 inches for reference. So now we're going to secure the sides. Now if you don't want to sew it, which I do prefer, you can use a product called Fabri-Tac, which is washable, flexible, and clear, and this is a permanent adhesive. Now you can also use some hot glue, but I prefer to use this SureBonder fabric stick hot glue, and this is specially formulated for fabric to bond those edges. Now that's what I'll be using today. Now you can use regular hot glue if you just plan to have these just sitting around and don't plan to wash them. It's not the most durable, but these fabric sticks are great. So like I mentioned, we're going to be, first of all, adhering those sides to that folded up area that we have here. So what I'm going to do is take my fabric stick and I'm going to apply a generous amount of that fabric stick glue along that seam. Now this does come in a color white and a color black, so there are options from SureBonder for this. Now once that first side is bonded, we're going to repeat this on the other side. So now that both sides are bonded, we'll notice we do have this nice little pocket here, and now we can flip that top side right down over it. Now it's important that you have this overlap at least 3 inches for this envelope style pillow to work appropriately. So now what we're going to do, once we have our fold, we're going to apply more of that fabric stick hot glue along that edge and just press it as you go down. Now be generous with this glue. It's very strong and secure, but you want to make sure that all of those fibers are saturated with that glue. Now you're going to repeat this for the other side, and you notice now you have this nice secure edge. Now I'm pulling, I'm tugging, it isn't going anywhere. This stuff is really great. So what I'm going to use to stuff this is this pillow. Now this is actually one of the Dollar General full-size pillows that I cut in half and made into a travel size pillow, which is perfect for this size and for placemat pillows. And I'll link the tutorial in the upper right hand corner of this video to show you the other video on how I cut it and made it fit. So we're just going to insert this into our casing until it's nice and even, and I'm brushing out the tassels to make it look nice and pretty. Shake it out, and there you go. You have a very nice envelope style pillow. So now we're going to work on our other pillow, which is our solid pillow with the leather. So I unwrapped the microfiber cloth, and it's not exactly square, so we are going to make it square, and all we're going to do is drag the corner up to the other corner to form a triangle, and then cut it along that straight edge, and this will form the square pillow that we're looking for. So now that we have our perfect shape, this cloth has a really fluffy side and a low fluffy side. Now we do want the low fluffy side to be on the outside and the fluffier side on the inside. When it comes to using glue, you want to have the lowest pile that you want, but if you're sewing this, it doesn't matter. You could choose whatever side that you like. So now we're going to grab our fake leather piece here that I have here, and it's a scrap. You just want to make sure one of the edges is cut nice and straight. And then we're going to lay our little scrap piece that we cut off our square along the bottom. Now we just want to make sure those edges are nice and even. So you're going to flip up the edge, and then you're going to start to apply more of that fabric hot glue along the edge. And I like to add 2 or 3 inches at a time, just adding a nice thick layer along the way. Again, you want to make sure you're bonding the low fluff side of that fabric to the good side of the leather. Now I'm using these Dollar Tree clips as I go. These are great for holding it in place as you work. So then just continue to add that fabric all the way down, bonding the 2 layers together until they're bonded, and it's pretty quick. At about maybe 5 minutes, it's nice and secure. As you see here, I'm pulling and tugging and everything is secure there, and it forms a nice seam. So now I'm just going to flip it around and add that square right on top, aligning the top 2 fluffy sides and then letting the extended piece of the leather hang off the edge, and you could just cut that off so it'll match the same size of your square. So now we're going to bond the 2 pieces together. So what I'm going to do is I'm first going to start adding the hot glue or the fabric glue to the top edge of that leather piece, bonding that fluffy fabric to that microfiber fabric to that top edge as well. Now you're going to do this all the way around the leather portion, and so you see it's now formed a nice little pocket. So now we're going to work on just the 2 microfiber sheets on the other side of that pillow. Now we're going to start by just bonding up the 2 sides first. So add some of that fabric glue stick to the sides of each end of that square pillow. Now you do want to keep pressing this firmly into place because we want that glue to be nice and nestled there. And now you see that the 2 sides are now glued. Now for this final side, you're only going to glue short of the middle because you want to leave an opening about 4 or 5 inches so you can stuff your pillow. So just go ahead and add that fabric glue along each end, making sure that opening is accessible. So once that's nice and dry, we can see we have an opening here. So we can pull out the pillow right side out and just pull the inside right out of that opening that we created, and just reach in and then push out all of those corners of your pillow to make sure that everything looks nice and straight. So now for the opening, we can go ahead and start stuffing our pillow. Now what I like to use for stuffing, I like to buy those body pillows from Walmart, and I use the filling from those. Those seem to be cheaper than buying actual polyfill, so that's my little cheap hack that I like to do. But I'm just stuffing the inside of the pillow until I'm happy. Now if you notice, look at all these seams. They aren't going anywhere. They are nice and taut and neat. I love working with this glue. So once your pillow is nice and stuffed the way you want, add some more of that fabric glue along that top seam. You want to pull that seam taut into those edges, fold to the inside, and add more of those clips just until it sets for a few minutes. And once that is set, check it out. The seam is nice and neat. You have one solid, neat pillow, and I'm loving how it turned out. So now you have your 2 pillows. And check them out. How great do these look for Dollar Tree and clearance materials? Now I love the combination of the creamy white with the leather on this one. And you could never go wrong with the chevron and tassels for bohemian mod vibes. Now I had so much fun creating all of these projects for you today, and you all have to let me know in the comments which one of these projects was your absolute favorite. Listen, I hope that you guys enjoyed seeing these creations and are inspired to create these for your home. If you love DIYs on a budget, please give this video a thumbs up and share this video with your friends. Be sure that you're following CraftDee on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest for the latest news, sneak peeks, and giveaways. And don't forget, make sure you're subscribed by clicking that She's So Crafty logo on your screen and hit the bell to be notified so you'll know when we go live. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.